to see you here today. This is the business energy reading for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo. Yes, we're looking at that lunar cycle together. And if this is your first time landing on my channel, I say welcome. I'm so excited to see you here. And if you have been watching and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe, so you always know when I'm putting out videos for the new and full moon business energy readings, as well as for the monthly business energy readings. And I also do videos that are just different pick-a-decks that you will find useful, as well as other business videos, so you can really integrate the masculine and the feminine in your business. So this business energy card reading, we're going to have different readings for each of the astrology signs. So make sure to look at yours. You want to look at your sun sign, your moon, and your rising. So people often ask me, which do I think carries the most weight? That kind of depends. So normally I would say your rising sign will carry the most weight. But if you have a plethora of planets in one of the other houses, whatever sign is ruling that house will be the one that carries the most weight. So it actually does depend. But if you want to just go with one and not the other, I'd go with the rising. But really pulling it all together is what really brings a true picture. And again, this is a general reading, so some things are going to make more sense to you than others. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one to really help you get your business to the next level so you can make a deeper impact and higher profits, check out the information in the description below. Now, with all of that said, let's get to it. All right, Aries, this is for you. So this is your business energy reading. This would be Aries rising, Aries sun, Aries moon. Let's check out and see what's in the cards for you. Let's see what you're bringing into this. You're bringing in the Six of Wands, the Ace of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles. This is what you're bringing in to the energy. Again, this is going the new moon in Pisces. This is what you're bringing to that new moon in Pisces. So what stuff are you bringing from that old full moon in Leo? We've got the Six of Wands. Interesting, there's some Leo energy in that already. That's just hysterical. So, you know, normally I think of the crow as kind of a harbinger of doom, or just like a foreboding, a foretelling. And there's a Six of Wands. There's a lot of energy behind probably some kind of marketing message that you're running. Maybe not the most positive one, or maybe not the most positive things were said about you and your business. That's something that's coming in from then. We also have the Ace of Cups reversed. We have some lunar energy there, which is beautiful, and some Cancer energy, that mama, but it's all reversed. So there's this desire to be closer to the tribe, maybe even had a new idea that you wanted to explore. Maybe that's where this messaging mishap came from. Some new idea that you're wanting to explore for your tribe that didn't quite work out. So that's something that I'm seeing here. And then we're moving on into the Queen of Pentacles. And so even despite all of that, there was still some money to be made, right? There was still some hard work that was going in that was starting to come to fruition, but it was hard, right? You were really efforting as you're going through this whole thing. So let's see what we've got going forward. Let's see what we're working with to get through to the full moon in Virgo. So let's see what new things are coming. We've got the Four of Pentacles reversed. We've got the Ten of Wands. And we've got the Eight of Wands. Wow, you have really got some stuff going here. We've got, like I said, the Four of Pentacles, and it is reversed. So there's still some efforting going on. It's almost as if things are being reconfigured at its foundation. So what new things are you trying to bring to the table that don't seem to be quite working the way you want them to? I really want you to take a look at that. If you have several ideas before you right now as to what that next step you can take in your business, I have something, I'm very sure it has to do with the messaging, or messaging, putting together for your tribe, right? If there's something not quite right, if there's something that's not syncing up, this is the time to get rid of it. This is what it's saying. It's still a shedding away, which typically happens over the full moon, but there's still some shedding to be had here. Let's look on at the 10 of Wands. So there's a lot of energy. Really a lot of good energy behind this. It's kind of a completion. So if you can get rid of just as that, I really feel like I was going to say a few items, but it's really just like one thing that isn't quite jiving. There's going to be a lot of energy moving forward. So you can really produce and make an impact in a really high way as you're moving through with this new moon in Pisces through the full in Virgo. And then we're down here with the 8 of Wands. And I always look at this card, I think dumpster fire. I don't know if you can see kind of how fiery it looks. But really this is, what I'm seeing right now isn't necessarily a dumpster fire. It's almost like over here, it was kind of the harbinger of doom. These are kind of both kind of doomy gloomy, aren't they? What I'm seeing is not the doom and gloom, but like the shot of information, like the major download coming in hot and fast. That's really going to help continue to build a lot of energy, emotion in your tribe. And that's what I'm seeing here. Go ahead, when you're looking at these, lean into your Mars. So figure out where Mars is on your chart, lean into that. That can help you quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and pull archetype card. I don't know. I just thought I should pull one. So there we have a jumper. Here we go. Our jumper is the shapeshifter. Okay, so all right. So this brings this whole thing into a different light for me. Maybe it does for you too. The shapeshifter, light attributes. So this is something you can lean into. The skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. The shadow attribute is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. So this is the thing. I can see why this kind of looks like the harbinger of doom, but I've seen like a feeling about it. And same here, which I normally say dumpster fire, but it seemed like more of a download. It's about staying in alignment. So that's what the shapeshifter is saying. You're going to make some changes, right? So make sure you're making this for the right reason so you can have a solid foundation. Lean into your Mars, like I'm saying, and lean into the shapeshifter. Make sure that you're staying in alignment so you're changing and working within the different levels of consciousness so you can bring some more, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Hold on. So you can bring in more authenticity into your business. There you go. That's the word. So that is what I have for you, Aries, which makes sense. I told you, lean into your Mars. That's what I have for you, Aries. All right, Taurus. So this is for you if you're Taurus Sun, Taurus Rising, Taurus Moon. Let's see what's in the cards for you for this Pisces new moon through the full moon in Virgo. So what are we bringing into this? What story are we telling here? We've got the Prince of Wands reversed, the Three of Wands, and Death. Ooh, that's lovely. So what's so nice is when you're coming from the full moon into the new moon, you're supposed to be shedding stuff away. So this is really bringing up a nice thing here. So we've got the Prince of Wands, who is really kind of, it looks like aspiring to do something different. So, Taurus, were you aspiring to do something different? To kind of go searching into something new? That felt really held back. Like things just weren't going your way. There was a lot of obstacles. And then looking down here at the Three of Wands. And it's almost as if, I mean, look at the story of Perseus, right? He was very clever, right? He cut off Medusa's head without turning to stone. He was very clever, but it's almost like, in this case, maybe your cleverness. I feel like some of your cleverness was working against you getting the full deal. Maybe even trying to go down the wrong path, right? And it was something that wasn't really serving you. Now I'm looking back over here and I can see death, right? And death is a great card to get. Now, if you're Scorpio is your divine client archetype, this is a nice thing to look at too. Or if you have Scorpio, you're Scorpio, whatever. So in your life, I'm just pointing that out because it's here. But with death, it means that you're letting something go. Right? Something that you've been holding on to so something else can come to life. And I love that transmutation. I love that it's already, that's what you're bringing in to this, because now we're ready for something new. So let's see what's coming that's new. We've got the Chariot reversed. We've got the Strength reversed. Woo! And we've got the Five of Cups reversed. So what's coming out here that is new for you? All right, with the Chariot reversed, and I'm just going to call these out because they're showing up. You've had, three major cards show up here. So we've got the Chariot reversed represents Cancer in astrology. So kind of that mothering going on. What I really like to think about as your tribe. All right, so we've got the Chariot here. It's reversed. So there might be a holdback. Maybe this was something you're doing because your tribe was leading you to do something or discover something and it wasn't quite right for you. And now it's been turned away. But let me see what else we got going on here. We've got Strength, which is Leo in astrology. And so there's kind of a holding back there. There's a lot of holding back. Let's see what else we've got here. The Five of Cups. All right, so again, a lot of emotional strife, but that's been overcome. So what I'm seeing here, it's when you're going into the Pisces and really utilizing that energy of Pisces, it's that you're going through, and it's interesting because we've got Scorpio here and here. There's a little Scorpio in this card, right? You're still going to be knocking out things. It's not like you're killing the mothering in yourself or the strength in yourself. You're seeing those things in a new way in your business, right? So what can you do to really foster community in your tribe differently? What can you do to empower yourself, or really what I'm seeing here, empower those that you work with, not necessarily your clients, but maybe any contractors or employers you have? What can you do to empower them differently so they can make a greater contribution to your business? That's what I'm seeing here. Because it will start to let go of any kind of internal strife that was going on either within your community or with your contractors or employees. So let's see what else we can pull here. These are archetype cards to lean in on. Here we go. Hold on. Those are kind of stuck together. See about these archetype cards. Let's see what we have here for Taurus. Avenger. Interesting. Not the Avengers, but Avenger. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. The shadow attribute is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So, lean into that Avenger part of you. Lean into that for your tribe, right? It's a righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. So, leaning into it means that yeah, there's not as much mothering, or it's mothering, like I said, in a different way with your community. It's empowering others, not just yourself. It's really leaning in to do what's best for everyone. And by doing what's best for others, you tend to do what's best for you too. So that's what I have for you, going from the new moon in Pisces to the full moon in Virgo, Taurus. Gemini. All right. So if you are Gemini rising, Gemini sun, Gemini moon, this is for you. Let's see what's going on with your business energy. What are you bringing into this new moon in Pisces? And then what's coming out during that full moon in Virgo? All right. So where our story begins with the Five of Pentacles reversed, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Ooh, we've got some interesting stuff coming into this new moon from the Leo full moon. Whew. All right, so the Five of Pentacles. So there were some, okay. You let me know in the comments. Was there some upsetting things that happened in your business in this last cycle that you're bringing in? Like things just like it was a little upset. It's starting to, like you're starting to see something happen better, but there was like some kind of upset. The Six of Swords. Yeah, and so you kind of feel on the defensive, and rightfully so. Like, it looked like there was some kind of upset. You're on the defensive. It felt like someone was trying to take your stuff, maybe your intellectual property. Something like that, your methodology, maybe your clients, I don't know. But that's a vibe I'm getting. All right, so as we're crossing into this new moon in Pisces, we have the Nine of Wands. Very interesting. Okay, so whatever it was, especially like what I'm getting here is a strong intellectual property vibe of some sort. And if that's so, crossing in, it's like it's okay. Like this was your wisdom. Anyone could be a cheap knockoff of who you are. But people know where they're getting that original wisdom from. Or if it's taking it, I forgot the word. When they take it a step further, right? And they actually make it different. And we both know that that's a little different. What they say, there's no new ideas under the sun. But you do have a particular way of doing this. And I do see this as an intellectual property issue. So don't worry. No one wants a cheap knockoff. They want you. And so that's why I'm seeing that wisdom, like lean into that wisdom as we move forward here into the new moon in Pisces. Let's see what else we got here. We've got the Nine of Swords. Yeah, that puts you in a better posture where things are starting, like I said, it looks like it's starting to work itself out even as we got here. And you're going to show up your defenses. Let's just be honest. You're going to shore those things up. We've got the High Priestess reversed. And we've got the Princess of Swords. Yeah, this is definitely the intellectual property vibe really abides here. So as you're moving in, like I said, you're putting up their defenses, just meaning you're getting things set up legally so that instead of it kind of coming out of the blue when this happens again, you already know what to do. You already know if you need to send out certain paperwork or email, whatever it is that needs to be done. You know the different steps you can take depending on how the depth of what is actually happening. Sometimes it's just a nice email to do. Sometimes it's a cease and desist, right? And then we're moving into the High Priestess. This has started to kind of like where, we come as spiritual entrepreneurs, we try to come from higher ground always. It's just like who we are. And so this has started to kind of really pull you down into the 3D more than having that balance between the 3 and the 5D. So what I'm encouraging you to do as we're moving from the new moon in Pisces into the full moon in Virgo is to really go more into meditation. Really go more into your spiritual practices to kind of get your balance back, whatever your balance is, which is not necessarily my balance or someone else's balance. It's your balance. So you know what that is, and you know when you're going to feel right and feel back in alignment. Which brings me down here to the Princess of Swords, which represents, in this case, winter. And it's, to me, winter, I guess everything kind of looks dead on the outside, but there's so much going on underground. And that's what I'm seeing for you. It's like you're holding, look at her, she's like holding position. It's like no further, like line in the sand. And don't worry, we get it. You've shored up your defenses, you know what to do. But there's a time where that has to be let go. So make sure that you're doing the things. You have your legal bases covered. Always do that, no matter what, right? But don't get stuck there. And that's what I'm seeing is this tendency isn't quite the word, this thing where you could get stuck, always on the watch for something like this to happen again. Let it go. Just have things ready for if it does, but you don't have to be on constant watch for it. Going back here, I would say go ahead and lean into whatever your moon is, because this has caused a lot of emotional emotional turmoil, right? It's caused a lot of emotional turmoil, even though it was like a logical thing. It's your intellectual property. It caused a lot of emotional turmoil. So definitely be sure to check out your moon when you're looking at this. Let me go ahead and pull you guys an archetype card. Let's see what we got here for you. Gosh, Gemini, I would not have thought something like this would happen in Gemini. You're my natural salespeople. And here we are. With someone trying to take your intellectual property. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right, let's see what we have here, an archetype to lean into over this period. Okay. Oh, nice. Queen. Queen. This should feel very good for you. Gemini, to lean into Queen. Light attributes. Radiates the regal feminine. Uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attribute. Becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. Right? Keep that in check. Just know. Be yourself. Be that salesperson. Be that charmer. Be full on Gemini, and things will be okay. Don't get to here, right? Don't get to this defensive, I'm ready to come at you at any second if you look crosswise. That's leading into the shadow attribute of Queen. Okay? So that is what I have for you for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo, Gemini. And I hope that it serves. Let's move on. So this is for Cancer. If you have Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, Cancer Moon, check out this business energy reading. So let's see what we're bringing into play here. We're coming in to this cycle with the Hermit reversed, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Pentacles reversed. Wow, we got some reversals. We're coming in hot, aren't we? All right, so this is what you're bringing in from that full moon in Leo into this new moon in Pisces. So like I said, we have the Hermit reverse. You're ready to come out. So usually the Hermit is going in, taking in information. And as you were in that full moon in Leo coming this way, you were coming out with information. A lot of information going, you're ready to share. So let's see what happened here. Then we got the Queen of Pentacles. So as you were sharing, and we got the King of Pentacles, that's right. We got the King and the Queen. So there must have been something that upset the apple cart you're sharing. A lot of times when we're coming out with new information, the people may not like it initially. Because sometimes it means they're not your people anymore. And sometimes you're giving them the hard truths that they need to deal with. And again, not always accept it right away. And I'm seeing that kind of, it wasn't accepted right away. And it's going to take some work to have them see it differently or to move to a new tribe. And I'm not seeing what that is yet for you. All right, Cancer, I know you're wanting a mother. Let's see what we got here. We've got the Nine of Cups, all right? We've got the Magician, and we've got the Two of Pentacles. So we definitely have a turnaround here, don't we? So we've got a turnaround here starting with the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups really means all that emotional wisdom is coming to play. So I think it's all going to work out just fine for you guys. And I kind of really see like an awakening, right? It's not just your awakening that started happening back here. But as you're moving into this cycle, it's the awakening of people around you. And you've got everything that you need to capitalize on this and really help them understand this information with the Magician. So definitely take a look as to where Mercury is on your chart and lean into that. And then we come down here to the Two of Pentacles, which typically means there's a choice to be made. And what I'm seeing right now for you guys is more of a yes and. So because I felt so strongly over here that this is a tribe thing, they're not receiving the new message. I feel like they're going to start receiving a new message, and then there's more people who are coming in. So I feel it's a yes and with the new, with the old tribe staying on and some new people coming on board. So this is a beautiful thing to walk into. Let's look at an archetype to lean in on here. Let's see what we got for you, Cancer. See what we got for Cancer. Yep. Femme Fatale. Sexy. Alright, so let's see what we got. We've got Femme Fatale. Light attributes highlights the erotic energy of the feminine. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Shadow attributes. Inappropriate use of sensuality. Attachment to money and power. And that might be even a little bit of what was being discussed here. I mean, you thought, oh my God, this new thing, it is hotter than sliced bread. People are going to throw the money at me. They've got to get used to that new idea first, right? So open your heart. Really be who you are. Be that open-end attachment that you see here in the Nine of Cups, where all that emotional wisdom comes from. Know that you have everything you need to help people see light who are ready. I think that's really important, who are ready to see the light. And that you don't have, there might come where there's some kind of choice to be made. You can do this or you can do that. It's a yes or no. All right. That is what I have for you, Cancer. Let's move on. All right, Leo. It is your time. Leo full moon. Leo full moon. We are moving from the Leo full moon into the new moon in Pisces, into the full moon in Virgo. So, yeah. But this is for Leo sun, rising, and moon. So, let's check that out. And let's see what we're bringing into this period. We're bringing in the Queen of Wands reversed, the King of Cups, and the Magician. Wow, okay. So this is some really interesting stuff coming together for you, Leo. All right, we're going to start off here with the Queen of Wands, what we're bringing in before we bridge over. And of course, there is a little Leo energy in there, because why not, right? So the Queen of Wands here is reversed, which means that something went a little out of control in the kingdom, right? It wasn't all lollipops, right, and unicorns. Something went a little haywire, and that's okay. We're going to keep investigating here. We've got the King of Cups. And this King of Cups means that, like, on the outside, things were a little wonky. On the inside, things were getting more clear. And that often happens. The exterior can be haywire so we can focus more on what's going on inside. And so that actually is very promising, especially as you're running a business. You want to be centered internally. Even if externally things are just a tad bit chaotic. And then we move on here as we transition over into the Magician. Magician, you have everything you need, right? You have all the elements. You know what you're, especially here I'm seeing a lot with your message. You have now your message on lock. And maybe that's where this chaos came from initially, is your messaging was changing a bit, but you start getting more clear internally, and now your message is down lock. Of course, you might want to look at where Mercury is in your natal chart. So let's see what happens as we bridge on here. We've got the Two of Pentacles. We've got the Ten of Wands. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Like I'm hearing the shit. Wheel of Fortune. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune here for us is reversed. But let's start here with the Two of Pentacles. So here, what I'm seeing, of course, is your messaging's on lock. I know for another reading I just did, I was like, it's a yes and that's not what I'm seeing for you guys. You know, it's interesting when it comes to cards. It's an intuitive hit how they're read. And for you guys, I'm saying there was a choice, right? Leave the old messaging behind. Move on with just your new messaging. It's gonna feel a little difficult, a little dodgy maybe at first as you get used to it, but you know what? It makes you happy internally, and that's what matters. So you're gonna still see maybe a bit more chaos, but it's coming together, and that's what we're seeing here at the Ten of Wands. There will be a lot of energy behind it if you put your energy behind whatever this new message is for you. However it is that you've had to almost retool your business, right? And then we're down here with the Wheel of Fortune. Now the Wheel of Fortune is related to Jupiter. So you're going to want to lean into wherever your Jupiter is on your astrology chart. And typically this is the one of luck, right? There's a lot of luck with this. And what I'm seeing here is this isn't about luck, right? This is about decision and moving forward. You don't need luck. You don't need like extra good fortune. So let's see what archetype we can lean into for this for you, Leo, to see what's going on here. Let's see the archetype we can lean into for Leo as I move from the new moon in Pisces to the full moon in Virgo. Addict. Very interesting. Addict helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. The shadow attribute compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Okay, now that totally makes sense. Now this is like, I've been playing with these cards for a while, and this is the first time I've seen the Addict card. You have got where you need to be internally, right? You've gotten that kind of emotional, spiritual thing going. Don't let this change in direction derail you, right? Don't let the old message come back, because that does compromise your inner spirit at this moment. Stay with the new message. You have everything that you need to move forward. Don't let the naysayers get you down. Again, there's a lot of fire behind it. If you put your fire behind it, your energy behind it, you will not go wrong, because there's no need for luck or gaming the system. Wow, okay, yeah. There's no need, I know this is going to really resonate for some of you, probably not all of you, there's no need to game the system, right? There's no need to game the system, which is sometimes how we create luck. We game the system. There's no need to game the system here. Everything is as it should be. Just stay on path. Okay, that path that you discovered here. All right, so Leo, that is what I have for you. All right, Virgo, this is for Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, and a Virgo Moon. Let's go. Let's see what you're bringing into this. The Star, Nine of Pentacles reversed, and the Four of Swords. That's what you're bringing into this new moon in Pisces. So let's see what's going on here. So I love seeing the Star. It's one of my favorite cards. For so many reasons. I just think it's a beautiful card. And of course the Star is linked in astrology to Aquarius. So if your Aquarius is your divine client archetype, hey, take a look. Or if you have Aquarius somewhere else, you always have Aquarius somewhere else in your chart, but in a place that is meaningful, maybe it's your sun or your moon, etc. You have a lot of planets there. Pay attention, or there's a strong Aquarius in your life. So I just point that out for you. But your Aquarius, your Star here, a lot of good things start to happen. for you not that long ago as we moved into that Leo full moon. Everyone else sees it maybe as kind of buggy, and it was really nice for you. So that's good. And then we've had the Nine of Pentacles reversed. And so, like this yummy, yummy feeling. So there's a lot of yumminess. It felt like a lot of blessings. They might not have all been financial blessings, but they were good. They started to overturn some of the things, some of the ways that you thought about the world. You started to it's like you, almost like a hangman, like you really start to open your eyes and see things differently. It kind of upset the foundations of how you think. That was good. Some of that stuff needed to go, so that was good to get rid of it during the full moon. So let's see what we're going into the new moon with. The Nine of Wands, the Magician reversed, and the Two of Pentacles reversed. I tell you, that Magician and Two of Pentacles just keep showing up. So we've got the Nine of Wands here. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. So because like the old ways of thinking are going to the wayside, right? Kind of the foundation. New stuff is going in, new philosophies. You're very excited about it. So that is kind of what's taking hold during this part. And those are things are going to show up in your business. This new way of thinking that you discovered here. Okay, and I think it's also more so how you made that transition. Sometimes the trickiest part of accepting a new idea is, how do I effectively let go of the old one? I think you're going to be leading some people to doing that. Okay, Virgo? Then we're over here with the Magician. Our Magician is reversed. Magician's also linked with Mercury, so check out where Mercury is in your chart. And I don't know, I haven't thought about this the whole time I was doing this, is that we're in Mercury in retrograde, and I feel like Mercury is retrograding on your reading. Right? So we're in Mercury retrograde, so there might be some miscommunications, right? Like quite literally, because Mercury is all about communication. A lot of people think of Mercury in retrograde and take technology goes wonky, which is really miscommunication still, right? So that's what I'm seeing here. They're just everything, this new stuff you're learning, you just want to be as clear as possible as you're transmitting it to others, because there could be a moment of where things could be miscommunicated. You might also take a moment, Virgo, I know you're going to love this, to go within. And the nice thing about Mercury in retrograde with all the miscommunications that can happen is it's a great time to go within and really get things cemented so that you've had a good think before you speak. All right, going down here to the Two of Pentacles. Again, it's when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing that there's going to be, as the messages come through, as you're transmitting it to others, like I said, there could be some miscommunications, but they will get cleared up. But just know that that miscommunication will probably be there. And it could be a more extended time than not before they're cleared up. It might not just be like, oh, when Mercury goes out of retrograde. It might go on a little bit beyond that. But I want to say, I don't know, before I say that, I want to, no, I'm not ready to pull your archetype yet. Let's get a clarification on this. That's what I'm seeing. All right. So as we're getting clarification here, wow. All right, so we've got the Two of Cups reversed and the Three of Cups upright, clarifying out this Two of Pentacles. All right, so yeah, it is about choice, but it's about no choice. It's about, as that communication is happening, it will be a little bit of time before it gets rectified. But once it's rectified, there's a lot of celebration. So it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I heard you say this, but you actually said that. It's going to be something silly like that. And then it will absolutely move on. So let's look at that archetype and see what we've got here. Oh, almost lost it. We've got networker. Oh, what a lovely thing to have. Networker enhances unity through sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. That totally makes sense with your reading so far. Shadow attribute conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. Right? And there's just that miscommunication aspect that could have that shadow attribute seem like reality when it's not. So make sure to lean in the networker where you're really showing people awareness, you're really showing empathy as you're going out and sharing this new information, and you will see the celebrations happen. All right, that's what I have for you, Virgo. Let's move on. All right, Libra. Let's check out what's going on for you. So this is for Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon, your business energy for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo. We've got the Empress reversed. We've got the Star reversed. And we've got the Five of Wands. What is going on with you, Libra? So we have the Empress reversed. And the Empress is related to Venus, which is also the ruler for Libra. So that's just really interesting. That energy that we're bringing in from that full moon in Leo into our new moon in Pisces. So there's just maybe some, it looks like trappings that you're letting go of. What do I mean by trappings? It's sometimes the luck gets to be a little bit too much. And it's like we're so involved in the luxury moment. So maybe this was just having like one too many programs or a high-end program. That wasn't quite all of that. Down here with the Star, I'm seeing that same thing. It was kind of like letting some excess go. Excess is what I'm seeing here. And the Five of Wands shows that that was really that thing that needed to go. So whatever that, whether it was a concept of a program that needs to be let go, or actual program services that had to be let go. There was definitely a letting go. So you were out of this excess and into balance, into alignment, whatever that is for you, Libra. All right, let's see what we're bringing into the new moon in Pisces. The Five of Swords reversed. The Queen of Pentacles reversed. And the Queen of Swords reversed. How interesting. Have you noticed, Libra, this reading is totally all in reversal. I haven't seen that before. That's really interesting to me. All right, so the Five of Swords reversed. Now here, this is good. That means we're coming out of conflict. So whereas here with the Five of Wands, we've got fives, we've got queens, we've got major arcana. This is wild to me. You've got a lot of things in duplicate. Okay, so here with our Five of Swords, it's like letting go of the conflict, internal conflict in your head. I think that's where this also is coming from here and here. It's just whatever was busy noise going on in your head, Libra, that's what was let go. And it was actually that conflict just kind of dampened things down so you could actually think, right? So you could think clearly. Let's move on and see. That's what we're bringing into Pisces and moving into this new moon in Pisces with for you. And then we've got the Queen of Pentacles and our Queen of Swords. Again, our queens are pretty serious, very powerful. And I love this in the balance with our Empress and the Star. Again, both very feminine, very powerful. And here it's like, there's still more shedding to do. It's like now that your mind is quieter, you can see that there's still a little bit more to let go of. A little bit more of the trappings of, let me give you an example. Let's say right now you have social media handles on every single social media platform out there. And you are trying to be everywhere at once. And you realize, I can't do it. It doesn't matter how much support I have at this moment. It's not something I want to do, even though it's something I quote unquote should do. I don't want to do that. And so it's coming to that realization and kind of letting go of what everyone else is saying the right thing is to do. And now we're over to the execution of those things, of those actually letting go and bring forth something new to really, what I'm seeing here is laser focus in on one or two to really shine and give forth your message. That's really interesting, Libra. All right, so pick, this is kind of like moved out, pick the right place for you to play. We've got the archetype to lean into, the rebel. Light attributes, challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. The shadow attribute, rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So, like, what I was talking about here was purely a rejection of what is considered the normal, typical thing to do if you want to stay in business, right? It's like you know internally what is the right thing for you and your business. And bringing that out and putting it to fruition is what you need. And sometimes, yes, you do need to ask for help staying on your path, help executing the idea that you have. But ultimately, you know what the path is, right? You might need help with executing on the path, but you know what the path is. So stay in that rebel, lean into it. It's a beautiful reading for you, Libra. Scorpio, it's your turn. It's your Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising. Let's see what you're bringing into this new moon in Pisces. What are you bringing over here? We've got Shrink reverse, we've got the King of Swords, and we've got the Moon reversed. Got some interesting stuff going on here. All right, Scorpio. Let's start off here with our Strength reverse. So this is also corresponds to Leo in the zodiac, if you got some Leo going on with you or Leo around you. So we're coming into this thing where things were kind of going swimmingly and then they weren't, right? They were going well and then it just kind of went all sideways. And that's okay. That sometimes happens in the business. The King of Swords here is showing me, wow, some Libra energy in there, of course. It's not like it's quite off the rails, but it was kind of like a bump in the road, right? And that's what we're bringing into this thing. And now we're, making that transition into the new moon in Pisces, and we've got the moon reversed. Of course, the moon is associated with Pisces, so how interesting for you. All right, so what I'm seeing here, it's almost as if the shadows that could be illuminated aren't. Kind of like what happens in a new moon. Everything's just dark. And you need those shadows. I always say I'm a big person for shadow illumination, but let's see what the rest of your reading says here. We got the King of Cups reversed, the Two of Pentacles reversed, and the Nine of Wands upright. Alright, so like I said, I'm all about getting your shadows illuminated, and I'm seeing that they're still running dark. And the King of Cups is telling me here that it's because you still need time. You still need time to get things under control for yourself emotionally. This threw you for a loop, what happened back here. And you're still getting that back together over this lunar cycle, this part of the lunar cycle, right? You're still getting your money story back together. Kind of, it's almost as if it was a tower moment, right? Where things were kind of crashed down, right? And now you're kind of having to rebuild emotionally, rebuild a bit financially. It didn't like throw you totally to where now you're destitute, not on the streets or anything. But there is that need to rebuild here. And then we've got the Nine of Wands, which means as you come out of the cycle, everything's fine. Like, you got that together, you got your mojo going, and everything's okay. You're ready to rip-roar back onto the scene. But, you know, don't push yourself so much to think that you have to do it all now. You can let things kind of flow. They did get disrupted, right? There was a bump in the road. And because of the darkness, it's causing you to really turn more internally and take care of that piece. So, and it might be a little bit lost in funds. Not a lot. But as you come out of this, as you take that inward journey, you come out victorious. So, that's not a bad thing. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Scorpio, for you, you're used to that inward journey anyway, aren't you? All right, so I'm going to pull an archetype card, something else you can lean into as you're on this journey through this part of the lunar cycle. You're moving from the new moon in Pisces to the full moon in Virgo. No? There you go. Teacher. Oh, makes sense. You're going to be learning a bit. Light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Okay, that makes sense. Shadow attribute, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits or destructive skills. Leading into teacher means not only are you healing yourself as you go through this journey, you're going to come out. Remember I said you're going to come out victorious, roaring, ready to go. You're going to come out ready to teach people about this part of the journey. Which just totally makes sense for Scorpio. You're always going into the darkest places and bringing back knowledge, bringing back that wisdom. So, all right, Scorpio, let's see what's coming up next. All right, Sagittarius. Here we go. This is Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Rising, and Sagittarius Moon. Here we go. This is what we're bringing into this new moon in Pisces. We've got the Hermit reversed. We've got the Ace of Wands reversed. And we've got the Princess of Pentacles. Interesting, interesting. All right, so Sagittarius, shocker. Sagittarius is typically seen as the philosopher. And you've gotten some wisdom as you were scrolling away, and now you come out and you're telling everyone about it, or at least you want to, right? That's what you came out with that full moon in Leo, with that new information. It's represented here by the Hermit, which is also associated with Virgo. So if your divine client archetype is Virgo, take a look. Or if you got Virgo anywhere else around you. And then we got the Ace of Wands reversed here. So you're coming out with all this amazing new information, and there was a spark of a new idea, but you can't quite get it ignited. But don't worry, as we're moving into this new moon in Pisces, I see that it's actually coming up. It's coming together. Let's see what else is happening here. We've got our Eight of Wands. Awesome. We've got our Nine of Cups and our Prince of Swords reversed. So this is actually really interesting. So as we're moving into this new moon in Pisces, everything's coming up, that newness is coming in. We got a lot of fire behind this new idea, this thing that you learned. So you came out and you're starting to tell everyone about it. We've got a lot of fire behind it. A lot of people interested in this new way of thinking. And it's got a lot of people seeing things differently about themselves, like getting more emotionally grounded. So this is all good stuff. And as we come over here to the Prince of Swords, it's like they're slaying their own inner demons. So whatever this new thing is that you learn and that you're bringing out into the world, it's really going to reshape the way that people think about themselves. Woo! Sagittarius, that is amazing. Like, I want to know what that thing is. Let me know down in the comments, because I think it's going to be really interesting what's going on here. All right, I'm going to give you an archetype to lean into. And for Sagittarius, new moon in Pisces, 2 full moon in Virgo. And, ooh, interesting, as an archetype to lean into, the Don Juan. The light attribute spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. The shadow attribute using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of spotlight on you, for sure. And new ideas can be very, very enticing when presented the right way. And you've done some of the groundwork to present that idea the right way. And they can be seductive, especially if you're showing people how to get more grounded emotionally and slay their inner dragons. I could say that's very, very seductive. So just be aware that you're using, as one of my friends says, I can use my power for good or I can use my power for evil. He's a joker, but he's right. He kind of had this whole Don Juan thing going. And that idea that you want to use, you want to leverage it for the good. Always keep that in mind. And that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Let's move on. Capricorn, hello. All right, this is for Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Rising. Let's see what you're bringing into this business energy for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo. Started out, what we're bringing in the 4 of Cups, the Hierophant, and the 10 of Swords. Oh, whew, we got some stuff going on here, Capricorn. All right, so we're starting up here with the 4 of Cups. So this is showing some balance coming in here, especially a bit of emotional balance is what I'm seeing. There's still something lurking in the background, something that doesn't feel quite right, but on the surface, and even if you dug 10 inches deep, it looks good. You just don't want to get to that 11th inch, right? It looks good, it feels good. But you know, deep down, there's just a little bit of something. That's what you're bringing in here, along with the Hierophant. And the Hierophant here, and maybe that's it. Okay, so the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus in astrology. So if you have some Taurus, if they're your divine client archetype, or you have Taurus somewhere around you, definitely take a look at that. What I'm seeing here is just, it's like old stories coming up, especially religious stories, that were telling you about the way things should be, and you're trying to transmit that over into your business. And I should say not religious, religious is a good word. I don't know if I said spiritual earlier, religious, dogmatic is a good word for it. And then we have the 10 of Swords, and it just feels like everything's coming on you. And that inkling, that feeling is almost like I'm seeing here, it's like parts of a nightmare, right? And especially coming to you in your sleep, in your mind, it's playing tricks on you. Let's see what else is going on as we get into this new moon in Pisces, how we can use this energy. We've got the Nine of Swords reversed, the Six of Swords, and the Seven of Wands reversed. Wow. Okay. So we still have a lot going on here mentally. So we've got to get rid of these tapes, guys. Whatever kind of dogma, religious kind of BS is playing in the background where you know it's not your truth, but it's what was fed to you earlier, you've got to get rid of that tape, replace it with something else. All right, so the Nine of Swords is saying that you can get rid of it. You can almost put up defensive measures against it. You have the wisdom within you to let it go. The same thing here with the Six of Swords. You can replace it with something new, something beautiful, something that's really going to bring light into your world. And when there's light in your world, you can transmit that light into your business. Like right now, everything on the surface is okay. But you know, what happens is that when we have internal turmoil, that shows up, that manifests out into our businesses because we are our business. So you want to get this stuff handled. All right, so we've got the Seven of Swords, and here it's reversed. I just see really some kind of message. And of course, we're talking about getting rid of messages, replacing with new messages, but I see something even better. Almost as if when you have this stuff worked out eternally in your head, the message that then will go out to your tribe will be even more powerful. It's like it gets magnified because you have this break in old kind of philosophical leanings into something new. That's what I'm seeing here. And of course, Jupiter's in there. It's going to give you all that extra luck. So, yay! I love it. All right, let's look at your archetype card, which you can lean into over this period of time as you're making kind of these internal changes, right? So you could stop having those real funky nightmares. You've been having funky nightmares, let me know down in the comments. And start coming into your own, right? Start coming into your own. All right. Whoa. All right. We have those, but that's a bit much. Just had some step cards there. It's a little humid here today. Here we go. Thief. I'm feeling this is going to be good. All right. Thief. Light attributes. Sheds light on potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Shadow attributes, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. You do have everything within you, and it's worth so much. That's why it will eventually magnify out. But lean into the thief so that you know. I think it's going to go to, like I said, you know the truth. You just got to get rid of these old tapes that are bringing you down. So lean into the truth that you know. That wealth within you that can never be stolen. All right, that's what I have for you. Let's move on. All right, Aquarius. This is for Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon, Aquarius moon, Aquarius sun. This is for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo. Business energy reading. Let's see what we're bringing into play with here. We've got the moon. We've got the Ten of Cups reversed. And we've got the Three of Pentacles. What are you bringing in here, Aquarius? We're starting out with the moon, which is associated with Pisces. So what you're bringing in here is that look from the full moon in Leo. It's all the shadows that were going on. So let's see what those were about. We got the Ten of Cups here. So by looking at those shadows, which isn't surprising, a lot of emotional stuff came up for you too. And it's kind of put things in a bit of an upset. It's whereas before you thought you had a handle on being able to, I don't want to say control, but silo the emotions. You're realizing that isn't so anymore. And then we're moving directly into this new moon in Pisces energy with our Three of Pentacles. Wow, I don't know. I'm just picking up a lot of Capricorn stuff here. But with this Three of Pentacles, it's really about things coming together. Yeah, I see like this new way of doing things, like that emotional upset and that desire to silo, and you realize you can't silo things anymore, has brought forth some new things to germinate. So let's see what happens. All right, we've got the World. That's nice. And we've got the Ace of Wands reversed and the Ten of Swords reversed. So this is really yum-alicious. All right, Aquarius, let's get down to business here. So we had the Three of Pentacles, new things were coming up, things that were looking like it's about your business there. Like, you realize you can't silo emotions anymore, some new ideas came up for your business, some things you can work on, where you're bringing in your entire self into the game. And this has really had you come full circle in your business. Now, there was a time where I said, I will only do business coaching. I will never do personal coaching again. And I will not, I had all these, I'll never do X, Y, Z again. And I would continually find myself coming back full circle, like going up the spiral. All the learnings I would gain. And I would go do personal coaching. I'll never do business coaching, and I end up business coaching again. And I realized I just need to do both together. Like, there's no separating, because there's a wholeness to it. So when you decide to bring your whole self to bear, you find yourself coming full circle, bringing all the bits of you together, and you have the world. And so here the world is also represented in astrology by Saturn. So lean into where your Saturn is, and you will find a lot there. You'll find that ability to do the things that you need to do. It literally, in your natal chart, points to those things that you need to do to keep going. To really be on that soul mission that just needle you like crazy. It's uncanny. Let me know down in the comments as you look at that, if it holds true for you, because I think it will. Alright, so the Ace of Wands reversed. So here we're looking at this Ace of Wands. Let me look at this. And we have the Ten of Swords reversed. So there's some ideas, right, that have come up. There might be one that's just no good, and that happens. So we let that go. And if you don't let it go, it becomes a nightmare, right? So not every idea is a good idea. Sometimes they're a good idea to be put on the shelf and to come back to later. That's all. Or sometimes they're really not for you. They're for someone else. And when we try to engage with them and they're not really for us in that moment, they become a nightmare. So just be aware of that. But right now, my dear, I suspect the business is really going to take off for you as you bring in your whole self. That is the key to bringing your whole self. Be unapologetically you. So let's look at an archetype that you can lean into here. Ooh, cards are kind of sticky because it's so human. There we go. We have Child and Magical. The light attributes is seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. Ooh, that's so nice. I love it. All right, the shadow attributes. Pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So much, both our energy and action, you need it to grow. And by siloing things, it makes it harder to grow, because that emotion adds so much energy and it puts you into action. So yes, see the potential and awe and beauty in all things, and know that everything is possible. And even sometimes it can feel so scary, Aquarius, to bring your whole self to a situation. But know that it'll be okay. Right? Know that it is your whole self that makes you so magnetic, so attractive to those that you're called to serve. All right, well, let's move on. All right, Pisces, it is your time. This is Pisces Sun, Pisces Rising, Pisces Moon. This is for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo. And of course, we have to start off with where we were, which was the full moon Leo. Let's see what energy we're bringing in from there. We've got the Seven of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Prince of Swords. So we've got a lot going on here. Whew. So what are we bringing in here? The Seven of Wands. There's just, I don't know, I see so much fun, so much wish fulfillment. Like that feeling that anything is possible, right? You're riding high. And then there's the Six of Swords. So something came along that made you feel like you had to be protected, or you had to be very protective. What do they call it? Killing your darlings, killing your babies. That sounds even worse. Killing your darlings. It's kind of like someone's after some idea or someone that you're working with. And then we went over here to the Prince of Swords, and you just went into action to go out against them. So this is some kind of concept. I'm interested to see if it was like a legal action you took against them or what. I don't know. Let's see what's going on now that we're moving over here to the new moon in Pisces. That's what you're bringing in. Justice. So it might have been maybe some kind of legal action that you were taking against them. Oh, that's hysterical. Okay. We've got the Sun reversed, and we've got the Ten of Wands reversed. All right. So someone or something, they came after you, or they're coming after someone or something that you do. That's kind of what I was seeing back here. And you, boom, you're ready. You were like, I'm not waiting for them to even throw another lob. I'm coming after them hard and heavy. And over this part of the season, this part of the lunar cycle, as the new moon in Pisces, we go into justice, which if you have Libra around you, look at that. But justice is also seen as the scales of justice. So that's why I'm saying it looks like you took some kind of legal action, or you're about to take some kind of legal action, because the war of words isn't working, right? And actually become quite ugly. Haters. That's what I'm seeing, haters. You're getting to the war of words with haters. So you're looking for how you can legally deal with it. Maybe banning them, maybe actually getting lawyers involved, that kind of thing. Because they were going after your concept of who you are, which is ugly. Haters gonna hate, and you kind of, sometimes it's so easy to ignore them, and then other times, Pisces, not so much. Sometimes they go a step too far, right? All right, so then we're here with the Sun. We've got the Sun reversed, right? And it feels like there should be joy once this is resolved, but having to go that step of legal action, there always is kind of bittersweet, and that's what I'm seeing here. And so also here with the Ten of Wands, it's almost as if the fire is dying down. You're glad for the fire to die down. It's a good thing for what? Right? But it could be like a bittersweet victory that you get as you pursue justice in the case of what I'm seeing as these haters, right? So let's see what kind of archetype you can lean into, Pisces, as you go through this. And let me know down in the comments what's going on. Or if it's like too much, you can just DM me. Alright, so let's see here, the archetype. Come on, there we go. Child orphan. Interesting. Light attributes. Independence based on learning to go it alone. Conquering fear of surviving. Shadow attributes. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturity. Seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Okay, very interesting to lean into as you're going through legal stuff. So yeah, definitely stay in the light. There's always fear, and the fear you can see here in this card can trigger you in different ways, and then have you go down different paths. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Like I'm hearing that. Actually, I'm not hearing, I'm seeing it like really clearly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Meaning that just because you're pursuing kind of a legal means, and this is, again, if this isn't resonating with you, just make sure to look at one of the others, your sun, your rising, your moon. But, so I know this is only going to resonate for a certain number of people at this time. Yes, pursue the legal stuff. That's, you know, what I'm seeing here. But don't put all your eggs in that basket. I think that's where the bittersweet comes in when you do. Make sure that you're pursuing other ways to get this rectified. Like, pursue all the ways, right? And it might feel like if you don't do it, something bad's going to happen. That's where that fear of survival, conquering that need to conquer the fear of surviving is coming in, because you kind of want to close up. Don't close up. Still be the light. Your people, your tribe, and you deserve you to be the light. They still need you. All right. And with that, I am closing out this reading for the new moon in Pisces through the full moon in Virgo, the business energy. And they say, peace, joy, love to you.